Hi everyone, welcome back to another history video with me, and in today's video we're going to be talking to you guys about vice presidents. So this vice president is Walter Mondale. He was vice president to 39th president Jimmy Carter. He did run as president against Ronald Reagan in the 1970s, although he was the 42nd vice president. There have only been 49 vice presidents. A few of them became presidents. There was John Adams, who was vice president to George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, who was vice president to John Adams, Martin Van Buren, who was vice president to Andrew Jackson, John Tyler, who was a vice president to William Henry Harrison, though he died in office. Millard Fillmore, who was vice president to Zachary Taylor, also died in office, and so on. So, Walter Mondale, Walter Frederick Fritz Mondale was born on January 5th, 1928, until he died on April 19th, 2021. He was an American lawyer and politician who served as the 42nd Vice President of the United States from 1977 to 1981, under President Jimmy Carter, a U.S. Senator from Minnesota from 1964 to 1976. He was the Democrat Party's nominee in the 1984 presidential election, but he lost in Cumberland Ronald Reagan in an electoral colleague and popular vote landslide. So he did lose against Ronald Reagan because he became president after Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter was a Democrat, but I don't know what Ronald Reagan was. This is his office portrait, which was painted in 1977. That was the same year as Jimmy Carter was president. He was the 42nd Vice President of the United States. He was in office from January 20th, 1977 until January 20th, 1981. The president that he was vice president to was Jimmy Carter. He was preceded by Nelson Rockefeller, and he was succeeded by George H.W. Bush, who was vice president to Ronald Reagan. Now, Ronald Reagan did get assassinated during his presidency, though the bullet he got shot under his armpit, so in the underarm, because the bullet went into here, but it did collapse his lung, but he could have died in office, though. And, he was the 24th United States ambassador to Japan. He was in office from September 21st, 1993 until December 15th, 1996. He was nominated by Bill Clinton, who became the 42nd president. He was preceded by Michael Amakost, and he was succeeded by Tom Foley. And then he was the United States Senator from Minnesota. He was in office from December 30th, 1964 until December 30th, 1976. He was in office, he was preceded by Herbert Humphrey. He was succeeded by Wendell Anderson. And then he was the 23rd Attorney General of Minnesota. He was in office from May 4th, 1960 until December 30th, 1964. There were 3 governors. The governors were Ollie Freeman, Elmer Anderson, and Carl Rovga. He was preceded by Miles Lord and was succeeded by Robert Matson. Now let's look at his details. He was born as Walter Frederick Mondale on January 5th, 1928, in Ceylon in Minnesota. He died on April 19th, 2021, at the age of 93. He died in Minneapolis in Minnesota. His political party is a Democrat. Oh, he's in the Democrat Party. He married Jonah Adams in 1955, but she died in 2014. Ooh. Their children, they only had 3 children. They had Ted, Eleanor, and William. His education was the University of Manitoba. The military service. His branch/service was the United States Army. The years of service was from 1951 to 1953. And this is his voice. This is Mondale on Central American Civil Wars and internal conflicts. It was recorded on October 21st, 1984. I won't play the clip to you guys because you might understand what he does sound like, but we'll play it later in this video. Mondale was born in Ceylon, Minnesota, and graduated from the University of Minnesota in 1951 after attending Manchester College. He then served in the U.S. Army during the Korean War before earning a law degree in 1956. He married Jonah Adams in 1955. Working as a lawyer in Minneapolis, Mondale was appointed Minnesota Attorney General in 1960 by Governor Oliver Freeman and was elected to a full term as Attorney General in 1952 with 60% of the vote. He was appointed to the U.S. Senate by Governor Karl Rove upon the resignation of Senator Hubert Humphrey, following Humphrey's election as vice president in 1964. Oh, he was a vice president. That's crazy. Mondale was elected to a full Senate term in 1966 and re-elected in 1972, resigning in 1976 as he prepared to succeed to the vice presidency in 1977. While in the Senate, he supported consumer protection, fair housing, tax reform, and the discrimination of schools. He served on the church committee. In 1976, Jimmy Carter, the Democrat presidential nominee, chose Mondale as his vice presidential running mate. The Carter-Mondale ticket defeated incumbent President Gerald Ford and his running mate, Bob Dole. Now, Gerald Ford was vice president to Richard Nixon because he didn't die until 1994, though. That was wrong. That's what's his name? Oh, God, what's his name? Oh, Richard Nixon, yeah. But Gerald Ford died until 2006, though. The incoming worsened during Carter and Mondale's time in office, and they lost the 1980 election to Republicans Ronald Reagan and George H.W. Bush. They were both Republicans. I can't pronounce it. I'm so sorry. Republicans. In 1984, Mondale won the Democrat presidential nomination and campaigned for a nuclear freeze, the Equal Rights Amendment, an increase in taxes, and a reduction of the U.S. public debt. His vice presidential nominee, U.S. Representative Geraldine Frail from New York, was the first female vice president nominee of any major party in U.S. history. Mondale and Frail lost the election to the incumbents Reagan and Bush, with Reagan winning 49 states and Mondale carrying only his home state of Minnesota and the District of Columbia. After his defeat, Mondale joined the Minnesota-based law firm Dorsey and Whitney in the National Democrat Institute for International Affairs from 1986 to 1993. President Bill Clinton appointed Mondale U.S. Ambassador to Japan in 1993. He retired from that post in 1996. In 2002, Mondale became the last-minute choice of the Minnesota Democrat Farmer Labor Party to run for senator after Democrat Senator Paul Wellstone died in a plane crash less than 2 weeks before the election. Oh dear. Mondale narrowly lost the race to St. Paul Mayor Norm Coleman. He then returned to work at Dorsey and Whitney and remained active in the Democrat Party. Mondale later took up a part-time teaching position at the University of Minnesota's Hubert H. Humphrey School of Public Affairs. So then, let's look at his death, basically. That's his speech. This is his final message to the Star. Dear team, while my time has come, I am eager to rejoin Jonah and Eleanor before I go. I want to let you know how much you mean to me. Never has a public servant had a better group of people working at their side. Together we have accomplished so much, and I know you will keep up the good fight. Joe and in the White House certainly helps. I always knew it would be okay if I arrived someplace and was greeted by one of you. My best, all of you, Fritz. And this was Mondale's final message to his staff. Mondale died of natural causes and in his sleep at his home in Minneapolis, Minnesota on April 19th, 2021 at the age of 93. Oh, he died of natural causes. On the day before his death, he has served phone conversations with Jimmy Carter, Bill Clinton, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. Now, Kamala Harris is currently the vice president to Joe Biden, but though she's going to be running in the November election against Donald Trump. So we might have 47 presidents instead of 46, so I'm going to have to change the list up again. Mondale also emailed a final message to his staff, and as he and his family had come to the conclusion that his death was imminent. At the time of his death, Mondale was the oldest living former U.S. vice president. Oh! Carter said in a statement, "Today, I mourn the passing of my dear friend, Walter Mondale, who I consider the best vice president in our country's history. Rosalina and I join all Americans in giving thanks for his exemplary life, and we extended our deepest condolences to his family." Carter had last seen Mondale in person at the Carter Center in June 2019. President Biden paid tribute to Mondale in a public statement, calling him a dear friend and a mentor who had defined the vice presidency as a full partnership and helped provide a model of my service. On April 20th, 2021, Biden ordered all flags at government properties, office buildings, and public grounds to be flown at half-staff until that Tuesday evening in honor of Mondale. These are the external videos. Walter Mondale Memorial Service, May 1st, 2022. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, funeral services for Mondale were delayed. 2 public services were internally planned for September 2021. One in his home state of Minnesota and the other in Washington, D.C. Both were later postponed. Yep, COVID was bad. A memorial service was later held on May 1st, 2022 at Northrop Orthodromium on the Minneapolis campus of the University of Minnesota. Attendees included family, friends, state, and national leaders, including President Joe Biden. Now, the funerals were supposed to be in his hometown and in Washington, D.C. Plus, Woodrow Wilson was the only person to be buried in Washington, D.C. out of all the other presidents. But, Walter Mondale, I think I would say he was a really good vice president. He is the best one. However, he did run against Ronald Reagan, who was a Republican, and George Bush, but plus he became vice president to Ronald Reagan. So, this is going to be my last video before I go back to school. Yeah, I go back tomorrow, so I'm really sad. But I just realized the school timetables have all come out now, and I already know who I have for each one, but I don't have any teachers for 3, but if you guys want to see some more history videos I will be posting this Saturday. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and enjoy. And I hope you guys do enjoy your day. I'll see you guys in my next video.